We're going to make some French bread to go with our pasta tonight. This is a quick, easy recipe that my family uses. Takes a total of about 2 hours and tastes a whole lot like what you get at the grocery store. And it's cheap, easy, and fun to make. Kids love it. So I start with half a cup of warm water. Add the yeast and the sugar. It's half a cup of water, 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. I whisk it up until the yeast and sugar is dissolved. And then I'll let it sit for 5 minutes to proof. Always use a much bigger measuring cup or bowl than what you're starting out with, because the yeast will double, triple, even quadruple in size as it proofs, depending on how long it sits. So now we let this sit for 5 minutes, and then we'll start the bread. Okay, so we're back to the yeast. It's been sitting for 5 minutes. It's all nice and puffy. That means that your yeast is good. You got a good temperature in your water. Go ahead and add this to the bowl. I've got my stand mixer with the dough hook. So now we add another 2 cups of warm water. Tablespoon and a half of salt, tablespoon of salt, tablespoon and a half of oil, and 6 cups of flour. We pretty much just pour it all in the bowl here and mix it. And most of the flour soaked up, I turn it down to just a slow knead. And now we let it knead for about 5 minutes. We continue to watch, and you want the dough to all be in a ball. You don't want it sticking to the sides of the bowl at all. If it's sticking to the sides of the bowl, it needs a little more flour, which you want to add just a little at a time and let the dough soak it up. And just keep an eye on it. And basically, with my mixer, it does all the work for me. This can be done by hand. And it's the same thing. You just add a little flour at a time until you get the right consistency of dough. And as you see, it's pulling away. It's not sticking to the sides of the pan, sides of the bowl. But it's still, it'll stick to my fingers if I touch it. So, it needs a little more flour. You want it to be a nice, smooth dough, kind of elastic. dough for 5 minutes. Okay, so here we are at the end of the 5 minutes of kneading. As you can see down in the bowl, how the dough isn't sticking to the sides or the bottom of the bowl. That's what you want. You want it to be this nice, soft, kind of, when you pull on it, it pulls back a little bit. You want it to be elastic. Lower the bowl. Take the dough hook out here. And I mean, you want it to be a little bit sticky, but again, you don't want it to be sticking to your hands. You want to be able to touch it and have it not stick to you. So, roll it into a bowl, into a ball. Okay, and then you can put this in a metal bowl or a glass bowl with a towel or saran wrap. I like to use my big Tupperware bowls, or as my kids call them, our bread bowls, because that is mostly what they're used for, making bread or any kind of yeast dough that needs to rise, because rather than having to get out saran wrap that has to be thrown away, or a towel that has to be washed, these can just be washed and reused. So I put the dough top down first, rolled it around, got the oil on it, flip it over, make sure the whole surface of the dough is completely covered in oil so that it's not sticky. It needs to all be nice and oily. So now this dough needs to rise for an hour, but the difference is that every 10 minutes, take the lid off and punch the dough down and put the lid back on. So we'll go through that for the next hour, and then the bread will be ready to shape.